All right, guys, it's great to have all of you here. Victor, IK, Dami, we were just joined us. It's good to have you all here, taking time out to join today. Even though I know that I just told you about the meet today, and it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, might not be the most convenient time for everybody. So I appreciate everyone that has showed up for this meet. We've not had a premium club meet in a while, and that has been intentional because I just realized that, well, things economically in Nigeria have not been very easy, and I realized that people need time to get themselves. So I didn't want to get in people's ears too much. You understand? So I was doing a lot of mentoring on a one-to-one basis, not in a collective basis anymore. So that's why we've not had that for a while. So it's good to have a meeting again. This meeting is very important to me. That's why for the first time ever, I had to drive away from my house. I drove out of my house and drove away like 15 minutes away from my house to come to a quiet place to have this meeting. Quiet, secluded area. Because it's that important. I don't want any distractions whatsoever. Because I want to really address us here. I think it's very important. This is a discussion that myself and my wife have been having over a long period of time, and she has been telling me, have this discussion with your guys, have this discussion. And I just thought this is the best time to have this discussion. Now, this discussion I'm going to be having is a follow-up discussion on a podcast I recorded yesterday. I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to listen to the podcast, but then it's important that you listen to it. So if you've not listened to it, after this, take some time to listen to it. It's the one. It's called Power and Influence, the Gender Wars. I want us to listen to it. Very important. I put it up on my status yesterday. Some people outside the mentoring group have listened to it, but then I always want you guys to benefit first. You understand? That's why even before I put out stuff, I share it on the mentoring platform first. So it's highly important that you guys get it. Even though the people that might listen to it are not part of the mentoring group, do not get it. I'm not as bothered by them as I am by you guys getting it. Very important. So because you guys are like my inner circle, and the lives you live is like the report card of my relationship with you. So it's very important that you guys get everything I'm saying and understand it, and you ask questions. I feel with the mentoring group there is something I realized whereby there aren't people asking enough questions. So I get a lot of questions from people outside, but people on the mentoring group, just a few of you ask questions. You understand? So it makes me feel like if maybe people are not listening to it within the mentoring group, and other people on the outside are taking more advantage of it. But take more advantage because you guys have more access to me than other people. You understand? So you use, as I've told every one of you before you joined, when you were joining the mentoring group, that the essence of this mentoring group, the only advantage you have is access. Because most of the things I share with you in our meetings, I share it on my podcast. The only thing that the person that listens to podcast doesn't have is that access. That access, because my time is very, it can be very tight. You understand? So some people I don't get back to them as I when I ought to. But for you mentoring guys, it's very important that you take advantage of that access you have to me. Take advantage of it. Don't ever feel, oh, it's too late. Oh, I asked too many questions. No, you take advantage of it for as much as possible to ask the questions that you do have. So it's a follow up on that. On that podcast, I was talking about men and women, and I was talking about men being powerful and women being influential. I got quite a lot of questions, but I'm not going to be answering those questions here. I want to talk to us. Funny enough, we're all guys here. The ladies are not here with us. So I'm going to be talking to us as guys, as men. You're all men. Every single one here. Everyone is a man by every single right. You're a man, and I want to address you as men. Even though I know some ladies will listen to this, I think it's okay. It's okay. It's not a secret meeting. It's just something I want to talk to focus on the men more. And I think some weeks ago, if not, I think about 2 weeks ago, I think they had this day of the boy or something, Boys Day or International Boys Day or something like that. There are too many days right now, too many days. But then they had this day that focused on the male child, and on the mentoring group, you were having this conversation. And a lot of times when you have conversations, I'm up to date with all your conversations, even though I might not contribute. Sometimes I just want to sit down and listen and learn from you guys and just watch the dynamics of your conversations. So you're having this conversation then that seemed pretty interesting to me. I don't know who started it up, but then you were talking about how, oh, it's the International Boys Day and nobody's going to hear about it. Nobody's going to talk about it. If we're International Girls Day now, everybody will be talking about it. You see designs and everybody talking and having meetings, having this. I was like, the male gender is largely forgotten and largely ignored. And I was listening to that conversation, and it's not the first time I'm hearing that conversation. It's very common in today's world where there is a lot of sobbing amongst genders. The men are sobbing, the women are sobbing, and everybody is a victim of their gender. Everybody is a victim of their gender. So the men sob that we are underappreciated. The women sob that they are overworked. You understand? So there's this. Oh, when women get together. When I talk to my wife and I see what they talk about on their groups and stuff. There's a lot of, I'm the one that does the work. I'm the one that wakes people up. I'm the one that cooks. I'm the one that picks the children from school. I'm the one that still has to go out and work. You understand? And the men kind of feel we're always going out, we are working, we are done, but then we work hard. Nobody appreciates us. We do this, we sacrifice, we do that. You know, Nobody appreciates us. And I think this sobbing is a very toxic thing. It's a very toxic attitude to adopt. It might feel good when a guy says, "Guy, I know nobody appreciates you, but I appreciate you. The world might not say it, but I'm your brother. I see you. I see what you're doing." It sounds good, but the undertones are very dangerous. When a woman comes and says, "Sis, I see you, man. You're just overworked and you're carrying all the burdens and nobody's carrying yours. Just know that I see you, sis." Sounds good, but it's toxic. It has toxic undertones to it because you live feeling like a victim. And anything that leaves you feeling like a victim leaves you feeling weak, leaves you feeling out of control. It's taking you out of the control seat of your life. And that's a very, very, very bad emotion for any human being to have. To feel like you are a victim for what you are, whether a man or a woman, is not a good mental state to have. So it is not celebrating men when we say nobody sees you but I see you. That's not celebrating men. You understand? It's victimizing in a very funny way. Nobody sees you. Nobody sees me. So is this nobody sees me, nobody sees my troubles, nobody sees what I'm going through, but then I'll keep doing it. It's just this burden I have to carry. Being a man is not a burden, neither is being a woman a burden. But as I said, I'm not going to focus on the women right now. I'm going to focus on the men because I'm very concerned about what men are turning out to be in today's world. It concerns me a lot when I see young men and they walk with their tails in between their legs. Very concerning. I don't see confident young men anymore. I see very beaten down young men. When I look around right now, I see a lot of beaten down young men, just subservient. You understand? Looking for somebody to pity, love them, looking for affirmation and validation from the external without having it swell up from the internal. And it's a very sorry sight. And I see it a lot. I see a lot of guys just getting into relationships because they are looking for a mother figure. They're looking for mothering. You understand? You still see a 27-year-old guy with the insecurities of a 7-year-old boy. And I feel it's pretty sad. Guys are afraid to talk right now about their emotions because they feel like someone is going to think you are a simp. To be emotional, to be kind as a guy is very, very hard. To talk about what you don't like, you're like, oh man, I don't want anybody to come and drag me. You understand? So a man keeps short. We become very silent about how we feel, our emotions. Um, and it's a very sad thing. The other day there was this trend or this trending conversation on Twitter where I don't know who started it. Someone just said, talk about the shege that a woman has put you through. And come and see guys just talking and like victims. You understand? Guys talking about like victims. Saying I was working with my girlfriend and a car stopped in front of her and then she told me, go and wait for me at home. And I went to the house to go and cry. And I was like, what am I reading? You understand? A guy is a victim of his own relationship. It's like if we've been castrated. You understand? Um, it's sad. Um, it's sad. I read so many things on that thread. I can't even remember them right now because it was a couple of weeks ago. But I was reading them with my wife, and I was like, what's happening to men nowadays? What's happening? They are victims in their homes. Victims. They know they are self-imposed victims. Um, it's sad. It actually is sad. It's sad. And I was thinking, why? Why is this? Why do guys don't? Why are they not feeling like in charge of their lives anymore? Why? Um, Guys don't know how to talk to women anymore. They don't know how to talk to women. Um, Whether they are romantically interested or they are even maybe platonic, they don't know how to approach a woman anymore. Talk to a woman face to face is very hard. Can't talk to a woman face to face. You're already intimidated by what you have or what you don't have. You already sized yourself up. A woman sizes you up and say you don't have this thing. You just say, oh, okay, that's true. She's right. I should go and work hard to get this thing. You understand? Just already curl up. No, it's the guys don't stand their ground anymore and say, this is who I am unapologetically. I don't have this thing, but those things don't define me. And if you are not with me because I don't have this thing, you just might be missing out on a lot. Sad. The man just says you are not enough, and the man just runs and just says, I'm not enough. I can't tell you how many messages I get. Guy just telling me, oh, she just told me I'm not enough, and I just tell me I'm enough again. You understand? No, we should know. We should know. Not because she says so. You are not enough because a woman says so. You are enough because you know you are enough. But a lot of guys don't know they are enough anymore. A lot of men with children are like, oh, the children don't love me, they don't appreciate me, and stuff like that. They're more about their mom and stuff. We need to learn to know who we are. A lot of men are living in this life of honor or under, they feel unappreciated in life, unappreciated in their homes. Now, what I really want to focus on is this feeling of being unappreciated. The problem is we might be unappreciated. There might be some truth there, you understand? But the truth is hanging loose. You understand? We are looking at a branch hanging without looking at what it's connected to. The problem is not under appreciation. The problem is under involvement. A lot of times as men, we are under involved. We've been distracted by this thing called work. So when men say they don't celebrate me, they celebrate women. We have how many Mother's Day, how just one Father's Day and stuff like that. The problem is, have men really been involved? So men are under involved in the home, and they've given women the opportunity to be over involved. I won't even call it an opportunity. I'll just say they've given them the no other option but to be over involved. So men are under involved, and it didn't just start with my generation or your generation or my father's generation. It was way back. This under involvement in the home is a big problem. So some of you are not married. I know some of you are married. Vivo is married. IK, the rest of you are not married, but and there are other people in the mentoring group that are married. And it's more important that you listen to this. For those that are married, listen to this and you know change something about the way you approach your home. And for those of you that are not married, you're very privileged. You can go into marriage with a decision, with a mind to not be under involved. The under involvement of men in the home is beginning to show in our mental state and in the way we are appreciated or not appreciated in the home. Under involvement, we are too under involved because we are too distracted by work. And I'll tell you where the dynamics start from. When a man gets married, it starts from marriage. When you get married, the first thing that enters a man's head, this is how men think, is I now have a responsibility. I now have someone to whom I am responsible for, somebody I have to take care of. At least most men. That's what you think. When you get married, responsibility. Men see marriage as responsibility. You understand? Women see marriage as finally being with their friend and they see it as companionship. Unfortunately, men do not see marriage as companionship. They just see that, okay, it's time to be responsible. I'm 30-year-old now. I want to settle down. You understand? So they see that it's settling down to responsibility. You understand? Women, on the other hand, see it differently. They see that it's stepping up. You understand? It's stepping up to committing to somebody who is my soulmate, someone who I love. You understand? But men see that it's settling down. So it's a responsibility. And when that responsibility comes, you can see a lot of men will change their attitude to life. And so what they do is that they double up. And that's what there's this saying in Yoruba. For those that don't understand Yoruba, I say, "Ẹni tó bá gbéyàwó, á ṣe gudugudu méje." You know what that means? It means that one that has a wife must now double up their hustle. You understand? Double up their hustle by multiple fold. That means you must start running around. That's what it means. That and tobagbeyawo ashe gudugudu meje. That means that you now start doing some running around to different from pillar to post. Once you once you have a wife, and that's why they call it in Yoruba. So sometimes this thing come from our languaging. You understand? And some of our languaging is not rooted in very positive mindedness. So when they say gbeyawo, like you carry a wife, so it's a load you're carrying. Gbeyawo. That's what they call it. So gbeyawo means you carry a wife. You carry load on top your head, and then you run around to see how you can maintain this load. That mindset is a very common mindset among men. So when you get married, you start running around. You double your hustle. When you now have kids, you triple your hustle. You understand what I'm saying? So you're now even out more. So when a man has a wife, he starts working more. When he has a kid, he works even more. The more the children increase, the more the man is absent. He's absent from the home, he's now out working. And that in itself is a problem. It has become a tradition, but it's not a good tradition for us to have as men. It's not a good tradition. We've passed it down from generation to generation. What we see as responsibility is our ability to be away from home longer doing work. So the responsible man is the one that you come home and you don't meet him. Oh, what a good man he is. He's not home. So the guy doesn't get home till late at night. That's a responsible man. That's a good man. A good man, that one that is out. The one you meet at home at 2 o'clock is an irresponsible man. The one that still has the chance to go and pick his children at school is an irresponsible man. The one that has the chance to go for their children open day to talk with teacher. How do you have the time? Uh-uh. That's meant to be mommy. Mommy is meant to be the one to come, not the man. Should be out hustling. That in itself is the disadvantage that we've taken upon ourselves as men. That's what some of you who are unmarried are willing to do to show that you are responsible. When you go into marriage, that's what you prepared your mind to do. That you will not be at home, you'll be out working. This hustle mentality, hustle for the family. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's not what you should be doing. Because you know what, those children that you hustle for, you'll be surprised what they remember about you when they're old enough. That's why they're not celebrating you. You feel the kid will remember you going out to hustle and pay for their school fees and buy food, make sure there's money for mommy to go and buy food and stuff like that. Children don't remember that stuff. And when you guys were talking on the group, and someone made a statement, said, "I remember my dad playing games." I think it was said, "My dad playing video games with me." And the person said, "Funny enough, that's one of the things that I remember the most, not the hustle." And how many of us can relate with that? How many? Do you know the things I remember about my dad the most? My dad. I remember when my dad had his 70th birthday, and I came to talk on behalf of the kids. And I said one of my fondest memories of my dad was him running the tub, because then we're using a bathtub, not a shower. We're living in a flat. We had a bathtub, and every Saturday, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays, he will block the drain of the bathtub and fill it to the top and put bubbles and soap on it and just ask all of us to jump inside, and we'll be inside with him, and we'll be inside for what seems like hours, maybe probably long, meaning maybe about 30 minutes, but we'll be there till our hands were like pruny, you understand, from being inside water for too long, and we'll enjoy ourselves. Just that. That's what I remember about my dad. I'm telling you, that memory can never leave. It was not him going to work, him paying our school. I didn't even know someone was paying our school fees. Those things didn't matter to me. But that swimming pool time on Saturday was incredible. Sometimes early in the morning or weekends, you just tell all of us to get under their bed sheet. The bed sheet, you get under the bed sheet, and you cover all of us, and he'll be blowing the bed sheet and kicking it with his feet, and he'll say we're inside the plane now, and the plane is moving, and and it'll be so turbulent under, but we enjoy it, and our imagination will be like if we are really inside an aeroplane with all the breeze going. A lot of it my mom didn't like, because in the end we will roughen the bed. In the end, the bathroom floor will be soaked with water. But then those are memories that will never leave me about my dad. That playing with us, I felt the most love in that bathtub under that bed sheet. It wasn't about how much he was making or how much he could provide us. I can't even remember some of the things he bought, but I remember him being there. That's what your kids would remember. You being there, not you being away at work. The unfortunate thing is that most men will not realize this till it's too late. Till it's too late. The kids will tell you, "Oh, I don't know about any of this hustle." It's the present parent, which is normally the mom, that they will see as the parent. That present parent, that one that was there when they fell down in school, and they would come back and say, "I fell down in school. Somebody pushed me. Something happened." That person that was there to do their homework with them, that person that was there to read with them, that person that was there to hug them before they went to bed. For them, that was the present. That was the present, and that was the parent. Not the one that went hustle, 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 and at the end of the day, on your birthday, they buy you a bicycle. They don't remember all this. They don't remember. They don't remember those flamboyant things. They remember those familiar moments. You understand? That's what they remember. Our kids all hold on to. That's what they think back on, and they say, "My dad was a good dad." You understand? I want to tell you this, because a lot of you are working towards being good men. And I'll come to that. The aim is not to be a good man, because by societal standards, a good man is the one that goes out to do work for long hours and comes back when everybody's asleep and gets out before everybody wakes up. That's the good man. But I can tell you, a lot of women do not want to get married to good men. The good man, a lot of times, has been the modern woman's nightmare. The modern woman's albatross is that good man. A lot of women are thinking of taking their lives because they are married to good men. It's a torture, and I'll tell you why. But then I want you to know that you must aspire for more than being out working and providing for the family. We must aspire to be present. If you want to be appreciated, you must get more involved. You must be present. And that will mean saying no to some work. That will mean saying no to some work. You cannot be appreciated and say no to outside influences all the time. You cannot. You cannot. You must be willing to say no to some work. I know it sounds counterproductive because a lot of people will say, if I say no to some work, how will my family eat? If I'm at home, who will provide? You understand? That's the catch 22 that you think is there. If I'm not out hustling, how would they pay for bills? How would they pay rent? How would they pay this? How will we meet up? How? You understand? Is that it's not possible that this puzzle cannot work? But that's not true. We've been fed this lie a lot, but that's not true. You understand? And that's because we are trying to be good men, not godly men. We aspire to be good men, not godly men. And that's why in the podcast for yesterday, that power and influence, which I still encourage you to listen to, I say women are more spiritual than men. You understand? It's a truth. It's a truth. Is a fact. They are more spiritual than men. Men try. We are too convinced by physical, tangible things. A woman can be convinced by something she hasn't seen yet. A man wants it to be proven to him, and that's a shortcoming we have as men. The strength women have over us is to believe the intangible. It has always been a strength for women. So they believe in spirituality. You understand? Sometimes it gets women in trouble, but most times it makes them stronger. It makes their prayers more potent than ours. It makes their faith deeper than ours. That need, prove it to me. Let me see it. Let me touch it. It's a lie till I touch it. That's the problem we have as men. We are very physical. Women are very emotional. And that to them helps them to link to the spirituality, because spirituality is better better reflected in emotions than it is in physicality. You understand? So it's not tangible. You understand? So emotions are like a weaker form of spirituality. But physicality in itself, it's totally opposed to spirituality. So they are closer to spirituality than we are. So the problem is more men are trying to be good men rather than being godly men. So if you're unmarried here, look, what your family is looking for is a godly man, not a good man. It's a burden to be a good man. It's a burden that no man can carry. No man can carry that goodness of whatever they want, I can provide it. When they are scared, I'll be there for them. I'll be strong. When they are confused, I'll be clear. When they are poor, I'll be rich. Hmm. You can't meet up. By the time you're checking one box, the other box is on checking. You want to be a godly man. That's the solution. That is what solves this riddle of, if I'm not there, how will my family live? Who will provide for us? I want to tell you two stories. And I spoke about this as a speaking engagement I had, I think, last week. And I told them how I made my first million, 1 million naira. And I think I've told you guys before, but for those who have never heard, I'll tell you. My first 1 million naira, my account had never read 1 million naira before this incident. So some people have made their first million when they were in their early 20s and stuff. My account never read 1 million till I was in my 30s, my early 30s. Made 1 million. My first time I made 1 million, and I'll tell you about the second time I ever made 1 million. And this will describe the difference between a good man and a godly man to you. The first time I ever made 1 million naira was in the year 2012. 2012, I had just gotten married. I got married in December 2011. 2012, I was newly married and I was starting my gudugudu meje. You understand? My hustle, my gbeyawo. I had a wife on top of my head. And I was thinking, Tola, you need to double your hustle. So I said, I can't be working like a graphic designer the way I've been working from my room, waiting for clients to call me. I need to go out and get that food. I need to go out. So I made a resolution 2020, 2012, I will go out. So I went out every single day and went out, meeting people, talking, telling them what I can do for them. I went out. I went out. And to be honest with you, when you go out, you will make money. I'm telling you. When you go out, you're going to make money. Go out, meet people, you will make money, but what you will try. I used to go out every single day, meetings, take any job, hustle, you know, just to make money, making connections left and right. I'll go out in the morning, eat breakfast, I'll eat lunch outside on the road. If I eat lunch at all. Yeah, I wasn't even eating lunch because I'm not used to eating outside. So I won't eat lunch. I'll come back and eat dinner. I think that 20 was when this ulcer thing I had really flared up. I would come back at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And then my wife would be like, sorry, Pele, sorry, sorry. And I would feel like a man. I've gone to go and walk, man, like a warrior. I've come back with heartburn, hungry. And I'm just sorry, I'm so tired. I need food and stuff like that. The typical machismo type kind of thing. I've gone out to work. Okay, so where's my plate now? And how can I eat? You understand that kind of thing? Because I've gone out to bring the bacon. And then my wife would feel me like, sorry. And I used to feel like a good man. But money was coming, to be honest with you. Sometimes I call my wife from home. I'm like, I'm not going to come home early today. I'm still at the printers. I'm still at this. I'm still at this meeting. I'm still at this. But I used to feel some kind of ego, some ego trip to it. But by the end of 2012, we had our first child. And by December, I think December 31st, a client paid for a job I'd done. And that client paying took my account to 1 million naira for the first time ever in my life. My account read 1 million naira. We're using all these useless phones there. Not useless, but those phones that couldn't do much. I would have screenshot it, but you couldn't screenshot that period. I showed my wife 1 million. And we were both celebrating, very happy. 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. For the first time, millionaire. You understand that kind of thing? 1 million. I was so happy. And immediately after, I think NEPA credit had finished. I had to buy NEPA credit. So NEPA credit or DSTV or something like that. So I just paid. Immediately I just paid. The account just went back to 900 and something thousand. So I was a millionaire for not up to an hour, a few minutes. And I remember just thinking, at least I was a millionaire. You understand? That felt so good. I was a millionaire accumulatively after doing work for a year. For 12 months, accumulation of work, my account read 1 million naira after going out and coming back late. Sometimes there was a day I went out and I came back at 12 o'clock and I was driving. No, not 12 o'clock. I never came back that late. But I was coming back around 10 and I was driving through Jabi and the road was so dark. And I said, Tola, what if someone should relay you here? Is this job you are doing, is it worth this risk you are giving to your life? This terrible risk. And I knew this thing is not worth it. It's not worth it. But then here I was. It was hustling. I was being a man. But after all that accumulation of risk of life and tiredness and ulcer pain, I made 1 million naira. Very happy. I patted myself on the back. Good boy, you done well. But then years came again and it was struggle, 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 struggle. Never made a million again. Till 2020. When was this? I think this was 2018 or 2019. By that time, I started ProUp Masterclass. Now, ProUp Masterclass was a very spiritual thing for me. To start ProUp Masterclass was something that I had to do out of a sense of spiritual direction. ProUp Masterclass started that my YouTube channel where I'm talking that started that morphed into my podcast right now. Started from a very difficult time in the life of me and my wife. We've had children then. We had two children, and it was hard to make ends meet. Very hard. We were earning, but bills were just stacking. Even when I was trying to be a man, it wasn't meeting up anymore because now we had two children. So that gudu gudu meji was not working. That running around wasn't working. I was like, what's happening? I'm working, but it's not gelling. You understand? Those things, and we were like, and my wife said, we need a second income. So she asked me, what do I like to do? I said, I like to talk to people. So she said, start a YouTube channel. Now, I'll be very honest with you. Prep Master Class started as a means to make money. But when I started it, I started realizing that I was helping people. And so I found myself doing something spiritual with an initial aim of making money, but the money wasn't coming. So I never stopped Pro Masterclass. I just kept on doing it because at a point I stopped it when I wasn't making money, and my spirit was telling me, go back to it. Go back to this Pro Masterclass. Well, like this thing is not making money. Let me go back and focus on my graphic design. But then my mind always tell me, go and record a class. Go and record a class. So at 12 midnight, I'll go record a class and stuff like that. And at the point, my wife was working somewhere. I wasn't having clients coming. My first daughter had started school. It was an issue. So every morning, I'll drive my wife to work, drop my daughter off at school, then I will drive back home, take off my clothes, wear my t-shirt, sit down in my boxers, and set ring light and camera in the house. And I will record content on something that had to do with the design industry for a YouTube channel. And I'll record content from like, I think I'll get back home maybe around 10, and I'll record content till around 3:30, where I have to go and pick my daughter from school again, then pick my wife from work, then we'll drive back home. But then every time I used to feel irresponsible. I'm like, Tola, you dropped your daughter at school and your wife at work, and you are coming back home as the man of the house to do this thing that you feel you are called to do. And like, this doesn't make sense. It was a big struggle for me. I didn't feel like a man. I said I should be outside hustling because my wife is outside. She's hustling. My daughter is outside hustling in school, even as small as she was. And you are the one here doing what you're calling spiritual work. Doesn't make any sense. But then every time I felt a leading, something would tell me, Tola, continue this YouTube channel thing. Don't go and start hustling clients right now. Continue this YouTube channel thing. And I kept on, even in the midst of that feeling irresponsible. I kept on. And every time I would go and pick my wife from work and we would drive back home, as we were driving back home, I'll see other people driving back home in their suit and tie, tired, you know. And I'll be like, these are the responsible people. These people went out to work. These are the men. You just went out to go and record content for people you don't even know whether they are watching or not. But then I felt that spiritual leading. It was a leading to do Pro Masterclass. It was spiritual leading. It wasn't bringing in any money at all. Nothing. So it wasn't making me feel like a good man. But I was feeling godly doing it. Then one day, I was out and somebody looked at me and said, that thing you've been doing, I've been watching it. And I said, what? Say, your YouTube channel. I said, really? Say, yeah, I've been watching it. Really good content. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's good. That's good. Thank you. And the person said, I think you can do that for my office. You can come and talk to us about this thing you're talking about. I said, what I talk about? And he said, yeah, come and talk to us about branding and stuff like that. Come and talk to us. And it was weird to me. I talk to corporate people about this thing that I'm recording in my t-shirt and boxers. Because I used to record from half, or people never knew how I was dressed. I'm like, no, like, can I do that? And yes, you know what? Put together a proposal and give it to me, and I'll take it to my office, and I think we can make this fly. So I tried to put together a proposal, but I was confused. I'd never charged for speaking to people. So I always charge for graphic design, but not for this thing that was just a thing I was just talking from my head. So I went back to the person. I said, you know what? I don't know how to charge for this. Let me just be honest with you. I don't know what to charge. And the person said, you know what? Usually when we have people come and charge us, they always charge at least like 500K. So let's start from there. So I said, no problem, 500K. I said, you will do it for 2 days. I said, okay, that's cool. 500K for this thing. Even logo wasn't bringing me 500K now. So I went back. I did the proposal, 500K, give to the person. The person said, no, 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 this is your proposal. You didn't get me right. Oh, all you wrote here is 500K. And I said, yeah, 500K. And the person said, no, 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 no. And the minute the person said, no, 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 I already thought, Tola, you see, you didn't hear this person right. Maybe it was 50K this person wanted to say. The person said, no, 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 no. I'm talking, you're doing this thing for 2 days, so 500K per day. And it was like if the world stopped at that point in time. This person just said they're going to pay me ₦1 million to come and talk to them for 2 days. I said, this person said, yeah, go and edit it. So I went back and I edited it, and they said, within a day, account was over the weekend. Monday told me it had been approved. And said, what's your account details? They sent it to me. So you guys are going to pay me for 2 days of work, and are going to pay me ahead of time. This had never even happened when I was working like a good man. Because working like a good man, I'll work, and then they'll pay me afterwards, after the stress. I've not even done the stress here. And they paid me ₦1 million. And I spoke. And they said, okay, so you speak, but then by 12 o'clock, you should have been done. And like just from 9 to 12 for 2 days. And I spoke to them, and it was the most fun I've had earning money. It was incredible fun. I spoke to them, we laughed, they were informed, you understand, they got value, and they paid me my money. And I made ₦1 million for the second time in my life. What was the difference between these two earnings? One, I was working like a good man, a traditional good man. Go out, come back late, don't eat afternoon food, have heartburn. Second one, I was working like a godly man. What did God want from me? Not society, not tradition. And I focused on what God wanted from me. And I made $1 million in 2 days. The other one, I made $1 million in 12 months. 12 grueling months. That's the answer to the riddle. If I don't go out to hustle, how will my family eat? The answer is God. A lot of us men, our biggest problem is that we are not attuned or in tune with God. So we are in tune with our muscles, our strength, our brain, our strategy. That's what we are in tune with. And those things will bring us resources, but only after so much pain. If you are in tune with God, you will do very little and you'll get that very thing that your family needs. You see, a lot of us are working hard, but that hard work is not true to who we truly are. We need to start working true. And only in God is there the truth. Tradition is not the truth. Parental expectation is not the truth. Spousal expectation is not the truth. Children's expectation from you is not the truth. It is what God wants from you that is the truth. And some of you might feel, how do I hear from God? Will God now go, oh, IK, go and do? No, 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 no. It's not necessarily that. God can talk to you that way. I'm not talking down on that. But then, it's just inkling of what do you like to do. That question my wife asked me, Tola, what do you like to do? I said, I like to talk to people. That was the God truth in me. Even though then I was thinking, I like to talk to people, I hope they can pay me. Once I aligned with that God truth, it led me to the pay eventually. And the pay was not hard, the pay was enjoyable. You don't have to be away from your family to provide for your family. That is a lie. It's a lie that has been fostered for too long. Too many men away from their family, and we do it too much. Too many of my friends. Where is your family? My family is in Canada. Why are you here? Why are you here? Your family is in Canada. And because somebody has to hustle now, I have to stay back to hustle. What a foolish mentality. Foolish. Your children will grow up and know their mother and not know you. And in your old age, you're going to be a stranger in your house. A stranger in your house. You're going to wish your parents, your children will pick up their phone and call you once a month. And they will call their mother every time. And the only relationship they will have with you is, hope that is fine. That is fine. They're not going to say, give the phone to him. And then you feel spent at the end of the day that you stayed in Nigeria while your family was in Canada to hustle, to be a good man, not thinking what godliness was. Too many men. Why is your family away from you? Why? Why? So that you can provide for them, so that they can travel abroad on some holidays. In the end of the day, that holiday is not what they're going to remember you by. They will enjoy your holiday and reward their mother. You got to be there. You cannot be under involved and expect not to be underappreciated. Make a decision to be at home. You see, when you're in God's plan, you will be at home. Forget what society thinks about whether you're at home at 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's society. Society gets it wrong a lot. Be a godly man. God will give you that thing that keeps you in with your family approachable, because you know what, God is the standard of fatherhood, and God is never away from us. So why would he give us a template where the father has to be away? Have you ever prayed to God and God will say, no, 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 I'll be with you at night. I'll be with you at night when I get back from my work? No, God is always available. So why would he give a model for the earthly father not to be available? You can see that it's a lie. It's not the script that God has written for us. You should be available. If you have work that is taking you away too long, then you should question whether you're good or you're godly. It's an uncomfortable truth, but it's the truth all the same. We need to start to think about what God wants us to do. And what God wants you to do a lot of times is in what you believe you should be doing. You see, I'm going through an experience right now, and it has not fully materialized, but it will materialize. And I'll tell you guys when it does. You see, a lot of you see me, both of you are watching me. You see, I'm doing a lot of AI art right now. It was a struggle. You see, early this year, financial struggles again because things were hard in Nigeria. They've taken subsidy off. Price of fuel has gone up. You know, price of fuel comes tethered to price of every other thing. So price of every other thing. So it was so hard. You understand? For us as a family, very hard. And I remember how Greece pays student school fees. I remember the first week of their resumption, we normally have a PTA meeting in children's school. I remember sitting at this PTA meeting with my wife, and my wife was looking through her phone and just said, "Hey babe, check out what I did with AI." And she showed me this job. Wow. And I will have a different discussion about that, AI and design. And she showed me, and I was like, whoa, 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 you did that with AI? I said, yes. I said, you did this illustration with AI? I said, yes. And I was shocked. I said, so AI can do this thing? She said, yes, in just a few minutes. I said, show me this thing. So she brought out her phone. She showed me how she did it, the prompt and everything. I said, at that immediately she told me that, I just cut off from that meeting. My body was there, but my mind had left. And I just started prompting, and I was coming up with incredible results. I said, whoa, wait a minute. This thing exists. And I started using it. And that day, I created almost like 20 artwork. Even when we got home, I wasn't sleeping, just creating, just creating. And my wife was like, it's like you really like, I was like, do you know what you've shown me? You've shown me a possibility I never knew existed. And since that day, I just started, I was doing it every single day. I was like a kid in a candy store, always prompting, creating ridiculous things. I was doing a lot of stuff with animals, and I was like, these things, anything you think in your mind, you can put it here, and if you make it realistic, I was like, that's incredible. That's better than Photoshop. You understand? So I just started using it, and just all my childhood imaginations, I was just bringing them out and just prompting all my childhood imaginations, and I became a child again. I forgot I was 40 plus. I was probably be 44 this year. I became a 4-year-old again, just imagining things. I know as I was doing it, I opened up an Instagram page. I said, I need to store this thing somewhere. But then after doing it for some days, I was thinking, Tola, my good man kicked in again. I said, Tola, with this economy and this one that your family needs money, you are here prompting pig wearing face cap, cow wearing sunshades. Are you normal? Are you a responsible person at all? You better leave this thing and go out and hustle. And for a day, I just left that thing. I said, can I be doing this? I'll be 44 this year. I shouldn't be doing this. My son should be doing this. But you know what? When your true self, that I say, always work true, not hard. When your true self pulls you to something, just follow it. Because your true self knows better. My friend was telling me yesterday, when you start acting your age, you are beginning to lose yourself. Forget about your age. If your true self is saying dance, dance. Your true self is saying rap, rap. Your true self is saying go and play with sand, go and start playing with sand. Oh. I'm telling you, walk true. You see, the next day when I woke up, I went back to it again. I knew that my true self was calling me. I'm like, I still have this imagination. Let me keep doing it. So I started doing it, and I started sharing it on my WhatsApp status. For you people that follow me, on my WhatsApp status, I started sharing these things, putting it up. But I wasn't getting very many comments. I wasn't getting external validation. But then I was validating myself. And interestingly, my wife was validating me. My children were validating me. So that's why it's very important for you, number one, to even have the right wife in the first place that will give birth to the right children for you. Because when the spirit is one, you'll be doing some things that are irresponsible, but because you are with the right people, they will know it's the right thing. So she was always encouraging me at school, oh, do more now, do more. Remember, we were needing money, but my wife wasn't pressuring me. She was like, do more, do more. My kids were like, this daddy, this is nice, let's do more. What did you do? They were helping, we were working like a family. And I kept on doing this AI thing, having fun. Then a week later, I went out and someone told me, this harmony critters thing you're doing, I've been following it. Oh, I like it. This story is sounding very familiar again, Abi. That's how your true work works. I said, I like it. Oh. Ah, I've just been downloading that. Like, I like what you're doing. Like this animal thing, just say, like, yeah, it's really, really nice. As a matter of fact, I think you can run a campaign for our work, our office. Run a campaign for us. Do a sample with this thing. And that was the first time I ever did AI with human beings. You understand? That was the first time I was doing animals. I said, it was that sample that I did. I said, okay, this is how human beings would be on it. And the person loved the sample. I said, how much would this thing cost to do it? As a matter of fact, you see, if I tell you what they are willing to pay, your mind will blow. You understand? We are still in discussions, though. And I say when this thing blows out, you guys will be shocked. The person was like, let's do this thing, let it work. You see, that playful AI brought me into the presence of what my family needed. That provision. Look, do your true work. Forget about what society thinks about it. Now you are in your room working all day. If it feels true to you, do it. Your spirit, your soul is connected to God, not society. And that's how this childlike, playful AI thing is panning out to be provision. Do you understand? That is how it works. True work, not hard work. Right now, I'm working at home with my children, doing fun stuff. And someone is seeing and saying this fun stuff can be applied to productive stuff that can provide for the needs that you feel you need to go out and hustle all day for. You can do it while maintaining your status in the family as father. You can do it while being available. Don't let anybody lie to you. You see, OJ sent me a video yesterday about some people working in Australia. I think they're working in the mines in Australia. And it was showing the first thing about that video, it showed envelope full of money. I said, this is the money you get for 6 months of working in the mine. You see, that video was a very brilliant video. They showed money first. Then they showed how you work in the mines for 6 months of your life. Do you know what work it means to work in a mine? You work in a mine. That means number one, there's no civilization there, no people to interact with, no family. And men, only men I saw in that video going to work there. Some people are so blindsided by this thing called money that they forfeit 6 months. Do you know what 6 months of your life is? Half a year. You better love working in a mine. It better be what your soul truly wants. But if you are not, do you know you are losing half a year accumulatively? If you do that mine work for 12 years, it means that you've lost 6 years of your life. For how much? That money cannot buy you back your impression that your children have of you, that your wife has of you. And now I say a lot of women are married to good men, which is the biggest challenge of today's woman. When they are married to a good man, they can't complain. Do you know why? Because the man is away working, but the woman is sad. But if she goes out to say it, they say, that's your man, that's your husband that works very hard. He works in NNPC, always away, always traveling. See, buys for everything your kids want, their clothes, their toys. Make sure you guys go on vacation twice a year. You are saying he's not doing what he's meant to be doing. Then she sounds ridiculous. But nobody will understand her pain. Because what she really wants is not a good man. She wants a man that is there. A man can only be there if he's godly, or else societal pressure will take him away. Now, but you see, women, they have everything, but they are sad. They're sad because the husband, who is a good, responsible man, is not available. They are raising the children alone. But if they say it outside, society will judge them because they are being ungrateful. That your husband, he works so hard for you people. Never work so hard for anybody. Work true for God, and God will take care of every other person in your life for you. So in the long run, this session is for the men, and I'm glad it's a lot of men that are attending this. But then I want you to keep it in your mind. Take time to listen to it again. We're going to have another session, and I want you guys to think after you listen to it, ask questions, put the questions on the group. I want us to be as vulnerable as possible on the group. We are going to have another session where I'm going to be answering your questions like this. You understand? So, but I want the questions I will read out. I don't want us to answer questions directly on the group like this because then we might not be able to control time. But I want us to paste the questions on the group. You can send the questions to me personally if you feel like I can't be that vulnerable. But then ask questions, and I'll come again and we'll record another podcast. You understand? In form of a session. And I'm going to be reading out your questions. I'll be answering your questions because I believe there are questions you guys would have. So I don't want to end here on this note. Just say, okay, just take it. I want to hear what your questions are, what your confusions are, what your experiences have been. And if you have questions for me on stuff, I'll be more than happy to answer it. But I want you guys to go and think about it. And so that we can come back and have a follow up on this with questions so that it can be clearer, not just to us, but other people that will listen to it. So I want you guys, I want to thank you guys for taking time to be part of this session. I think, yeah, we've used about an hour right now, and I don't want it to be longer than that. So thank you, Victor. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Vivo. Thank you, Tom, for joining us. IK, he said his network was bad, so he fell up. But then the recording will be made available. I'm looking forward to getting your questions on the group, so I'll be ending the recording right now.